Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 13th session of School of AR. We are almost at the end of the journey. Today is the second last session, and today we'll be learning about thumbs up world effect. We have Naveen with us. He'll be teaching you about the thumbs up world effect. Over to you, Naveen.
Thank you, Oscar. As you mentioned, we are about to end reach to our end of our journey. It's like I'm very emotional about it. We've been like a long time. We've been together. So one more to go tomorrow. Hey, Shekhar. All right, we can start with some questions if you have, and post that we can start a session. Meanwhile, everybody can join. So, Shekhar, this conversion that I have to teach and that we'll do tomorrow, the conversion between all the coordinate system. So I'm gathering all the information into one place for you. So tomorrow we'll do that so that using the same method we can do all the conversions. So good evening, Sahil. Hello, Avinash. Okay. Meanwhile, you can download the assets for today. They are as thumbs up unfinished project into the same link that we copy assets every day. I'm gonna also share that again. Well, this is what we're gonna work with today. So, okay, you wanna know about real scale world template? It's working and all. Real scale is just a capability that you can just enable. So whenever you're using a plane tracker filter, there's this real world scale. So if you just check it, then it's gonna estimate how big of your environment is. So when you're in a small room, it will try to detect that how big the 3D model should be. If you're trying that out, let's say outside in an open space, then it adjusts itself accordingly. And also it takes into consideration the actual size of the object. What is the size of the actual object? And then in that proportion, that's the real world scale. So for an example, if I'm just sitting on my table and I want to try out something on my floor of my table, then I can just tap it, and then that element can occupy that sort of space and scale that it can fit on the table. But if I have enough space, then I can just tap it, like a big space, it can be large like that. So that's the real scale. There's like nothing much that you have to do to use it. Just to, if your project is like that it does matter, then you can enable this. It's a good functionality. I think it takes care of, you don't have to resize the object either. We do it manually anyway. Okay, so we do this screen pinch and everything to scale it up and down. But if you use the real world scale, you might not have to use those object controls. All right. Any more questions? Hi, Gauri. I think you wrote some messages to me. I'm sorry I couldn't get them yet. But if you can let me know your question here, maybe I can just solve that. I'm sorry I couldn't go through your messages yet. So if you have, you can ask your questions here as well. Hi, right. Okay, so meanwhile, I'm going to just share the expectation from today's tutorial. And before we start, just wanted to talk to you. So I'm sure you must be getting your assignments and everything. You also get references link with them. Those links are to help you with the inspiration that what kind of expectation the client could have, or maybe where could your imagination go. You could try out, for an example, if there are art galleries that you can make, and people can walk through those art galleries, and art galleries can have a lot of arts, so it can be like a showcase filter. The kind of filter that we're going to make today is also one of these showcase filters, but it is also like a reveal filter. So something gets revealed into the scene environment. So a lot of use cases of this filter for a lot of brands, as well, for your own fun as well. So what we do is we create a hole into the ground, and after some certain occlusions, and we hide everything that is beneath it. So there's an object which is the hand, and there's a cylinder which is also occluding this, but and everything is hidden below this plane, so you can't see anything in here, but it is there, but we have hidden it with a occluder. This is called an occluder. So what we're going to do is when user do a screen tap, then there is a hole in the ground that comes up, and the hand appears. So when I do this, the hand is going to come out, and then it's just going to keep revolving. So this is something which is the object reveal that I can do. You could do this with a lot of brands products, like if there's a showcase for a project for a product like a trimmer or like a handbag, like any product it could be, right? Any product that could be nicely animated, rotated, and we could add some more details to it. So the purpose of creating these filters is that users on Instagram get to see brands, products into the real space, so they feel like they're closer to them rather than just watching some images on the websites on Instagram. Now they can actually interact with the product. So it's a good way to showcase your product. It's called product reveal. So we're going to do this today. This is the expectation, but we're going to go a little beyond than that and try to work with the textures and a little make it like a more realistic. Maybe try to find add some more details to it. But first, we're going to achieve this, and we'll have an understanding of occluders. We'll have an understanding of a portal, and yeah, this is a plane tracker effect. So we're going to do this in the world position. So this is the expectation from today, and we can start. If we have and no more questions, we can definitely start. And just confirm me in the chat that you have downloaded the assets from the link that has been shared by Asghar just now. So you can download the assets, and because we're going to use these hand, we're going to use this portal, so everything is there in the unfinished project. You can just download it. Hi, Jessica. Wish you a very happy birthday. It's Jessica's birthday today. And thank you so much for uh, joining the session on your birthday. Well, we are making this object reveal filter today. So we didn't miss anything yet. We just started. And we have shared the link, and you can download the assets for unfinished project from the link, and we can start from there. All right, I'm going to open the unfinished project. And first thing that we're going to do is scene understanding, like always. Like, how do we understand the what is there in the scene? Is maybe let's see, this is your old project, or even if it seems like a mostly like a blank project to me, there's nothing in here, but we have some assets. So just try to understand what assets we have and how can we utilize them to make something that we want. We have an audio that we want to use when the hand is revealed. So we need a hand first of all. We need a portal. So there's a portal 3D model which is given to us. It comes with an animation. So we'll try to see what sort of animation is that. So this portal may be portal closing and opening. That animation is there. And the another 3D model is origami hand, the hand which just came out, the yellow color. So we have that hand. The hand is also comes with an animation. That means it is doing some sort of animation, try to reveal, try to open, try to rotate and go up. So those animations probably are already provided with this model. And we have rest some textures that with the hand. So they've given us the base color. They've given normals, so we can apply some sort of details to our hand. When you apply normals, the hand will have like a lot of bumps and curves, so it will look more realistic. Even if you don't use this normal, the hand looks realistic as well. But normal is just adds more detail to it. And what is a normal? normal is Normal is a map, is a texture which is taken from perpendicular of the surface. So if a surface is for a vertex on the surface, the normal is actually perpendicular to that. So that's why it gives you the details. And there's a matte occlusion. This is the occlusion to what to occlude when the color is actually mixing up to the albedo here. And this is an environment texture. This is, I think, by default environment texture that it's probably going to give the environment the light. So we can change it, choose something else. I think for this tutorial, we can just use the default one. There's nothing else in the scene. There's we have some models and some materials and textures. So what I'm going to do now is add a plane tracker. So why do I need a plane tracker? Because what we are doing is object reveal, and if I'm doing object reveal, then I need that object to have a position into the world space. And to do that, we use plane tracker, that it can find a space, it can occupy a space into the world space, position into the world space. So we're gonna call this plane tracker into our project, and everything that we add to the project is going to be a children of this plane tracker. As always, wherever the plane tracker goes, all the elements, all the children of it will go there. Now I know that I need to place something. So the first thing that I do always is, like, whenever a plane tracker is this, I give it a null object, and that so that I can move things around. So I'm gonna call it placer, because that's where we place things, and I can just move object around. Like this placer is right now at the right at the center of the plane tracker, and then I'm gonna give another null object. So I can place things into here. So I can place this portal inside, and I can when I place the portal inside, the portal is it doesn't have a material. It's just mesh, and I can see this portal has like there's a little mesh down there as well. There's a plane here, and there's some sort of UVs are mapped to it. Like it is not just a simple plane, but with some sort of shapes, which happens here. And it also does some sort of animation. So let's try to find out how does it do it. So we open it, and we see that there are three meshes altogether here. Uh, One is this portal, which is the entire mesh, including this. And there is door R, which is this is the left side door. Okay, the right side door, maybe we're looking at it this way. So this is the right side door, and this is mesh is the left side door. So if I try to hide them, I see that there's nothing there. So there are like three meshes in total. And okay, so this is my portal. I can give it some sort of materials later and then show it or not show it. So next thing is I want to have my hand somewhere. So I'll put the hand inside placer, and the hand comes down at the position right now. We can see what position is right for the hand, but I'm getting a sense right now that when I place this placer, my placer was here, and when I placed the portal, it was right at that 0, 0 position, which is the surface of my environment. And when I imported the hand here, the hand is automatically down, and which is okay. It's okay for me because initially I don't want the hand to be shown. Had it been somewhere up, I would push it down. All right. So it's good that it's already down. And if you disable this, you can just see the hand. This is like this right now. And but if you enable this, that you can see that the portal as well. Now, I I also want to rotate my hand later, but let's just keep it this way right now. We will add things when we need them, if anything like. So let's try to give them a material. Let's try to understand this. So um, I need a order of rendering because the hand has to be supposedly in the middle of this. So let's try to first give it some material. So I'm going to add a material first of all to the just add a material like call it like occluder because we want to occlude something. We don't want to see below what is below our mesh. So I'm going to call it occluder math, and this is right now standard and it doesn't matter. But I'm going to assign this to door because my occluder are this door left and right. So I'm going to use both of these meshes and give them material this occluder mat, and I can see that they are a little what my material color is right now, so they become like that. And also the portal, the big shape, it has two materials here. One is the hole, which is I think is the hole here, and the other one the entire plane. So the entire plane is our occluder, so I'm going to give that material here. Now I see that the entire surface has become like this color, occluder color. So now I'm going to set the opacity to 0. When I do that, you see that whatever beneath this, we're not able to see because obviously when it had material properties, it had color, then we couldn't see it because the hand was beneath it. But when we set the opacity to 0, we still can't see that. So if you go down, the hand will be there, but you look it from the upside, you won't be able to see. So this process, what we did is called occlusion. When we occlude something by putting it beneath them and give it like a transparent texture, so it doesn't render them. It will show you that they are not rendered. So this is more like a layering technique that we do. So we'll right now right now with they are in the layer like this, the at the top first. So first the hand gonna render and then this is gonna render. So we can't see what is beneath that. But let's try to add animations and let's see it working if it actually works fine. So I see that they come with two animations. We'll just use the animation, but obviously it's not always that all the 3D models they come with animation. So sometimes we have to create them like because this has like simple animation, like maybe the left and right they're moving, the doors they're moving a little. So we could create that animation very easily. And for uh, for the hand, it's just rotating and coming up. So that also we can create in Spark AR. But it's good that they have come with an animation. But if not, then we've already learned those ways to do this. So this portal, this mesh can get an animation, and also this can get an animation. So I select both by control and clicking them one by one, and then I click on animation. This is my origami hand, this is my origami portal. I take these animations out now, and I need to pass this animation to this guy and pass this animation to this guy. But directly, this is an animation asset, and this is expecting an animation, so we can't really pass it right there. So we need an animation player in the middle. Well, one way to do it is how we learned otherwise was we create a playback controller, animation playback controller, and then we give it that animation there, and then we can directly select that controller from the drop down. But we are doing it differently this time, so let's learn this one. Excuse me. So All right. So I need an animation player for this. I need actually two animation player because there are two animations that I want to play. So I'm gonna copy this one as well and give it like this. And now I can give this animation to this guy. The benefit of using this method is that you can control the progress of the animation, that when the animations start and how much do you want to do that progress. So yeah, it's an easier way to do this. That's why we're using this. Although we play the animation full at once, but in some cases where, let's say, you have like animations and then like two three animation together in one clip, and then you want to play like 30% once and then 60% later, and then 5% later on some particular event, then this progress is pretty useful for us. So that's why like we're trying to also getting familiar with this approach. So now the interaction that I want with, like, when I screen tap, these both animations should play. That means the portal should close and open. Right now closed. So portal should open and the hand should appear. So I need a screen tap control. That's what I'm doing. Screen tap. I need a way to control this progress with this screen tap. So, and I also want it just once, like once it's revealed, it's not like it should reveal every time. It should happen only once. So if I just directly connect an animation here, and this animation actually goes from 0 to 1 transition, like um, just a number, because the progress is a scalar number. So, hey, good evening, Aman. Um, Feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Also, if your questions are also with the if you need help on inspiration, if you need help on anything, just feel free to ask. Don't hesitate if you have any sort of question, any doubt. Anyway, so when I do screen tap, this animation should play, and that should go for a transition, and that would be my progress. It will go from 0 to 1. That means this should be it. If I refresh my project and tap on the screen, I see that it's coming fine. It's coming up. All right. But it's coming up too fast. I can give it like 3 seconds, and then yeah, just to show you a little bigger on the screen. That's how it's working. So we have a hole in the plane, and when we screen tap, this reveals itself like this. We can use some sort of other curve like in and out. So initially we won't have to wait that much. Maybe just pointing out. Yep, looks nice. So this animation is like super super simple. We didn't do much of things. Let's try to put it into a real sort of world and then see if it's working fine. Yep. So the animation works okay. No problem in that. But how is this working? So until this height, this plane is situated. So if my object is below this, it won't be able to. Um, it won't be there. But if you bring up the object in on the above the occluder, then it would be visible. So you can use this technique to create portals where, let's say, you want to place an art gallery inside the scene. Then what you need to do is you need to create a door. So um, you need to create a door, and that door, if you go inside, then you can see a lot of things. But when you're outside, all you see is just the door. So you have to use occluders all the way, like a vertical occluder. For an example, I'm just taking an example here. So if I take a plane in here, the plane comes like this vertical plane. So let's go back to our white view, and I'm gonna hide this placer for now, so that I can put the hand together, and I'm gonna put this into the top of it. So Right now this plane is there. If I just want to have something behind it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it like super big, like 20 by 20 by 20. So I can see that it covers a lot of distance above my phone can see, a lot of distance in the right my phone can see, in the left and in the below it also. So if that's the case, if I give this occluder mat to this guy, then whatever comes behind it won't be visible. So, but if I want to show something, if I want to show a door, how do I show it? So for that, what you have to do is you have to cut a hole into here. So you have to create a hole where you want to see the objects, right? For an example, this origami portal, this has a hole, okay? This has a hole in it. So trying to make you understand that you can create many things with it. So this hole you see, like if I don't even press tab for now, I can see this hole. Okay, so this hole is actually just above the a little above the entire other surface that was there. So this hole is a little up. That's why we can see it. If I place it down, if I put this photo, that's the animation. If I put it down a little, uh, no, we can't really move it because everything is connected. But if you push this hole a little down, then you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to see it. So this is like a little up from the occluded surface. That's why we're able to see it. Any question in the concepts of occlusion? Because this is a very useful technique that I think you should use in your effects most of the time. Occlusion is super nice. It works also if you're working on the face effects. There is the face occlusion as well, the head occluder as well. We use the head occluder to occlude the, like when we're putting glasses, so they are like, it doesn't show up, it is blocked by that occluder. So back of this glass is not seen when we're looking from the front. Pretty much the same technique. So yeah, try to use this technique as much as you can in your projects, in your filters, in your assignments now, because most of the things are related to plane tracker now. So you have to like get familiar with these techniques. Any question if you have along the way, just write it in. I'll be happy to answer. So sometimes there's a there's a little thing that you can notice here. So sometimes when my hand come up, so there's this black color which is occluded by this hand, is because the hand is coming in front of it. So sometimes it may happen that the black color is actually visible from the front. So that would be probably because of the layering order that you do. So use the proper layer, like if you whatever put it an occlusion. So this is my occlusion. So I'm going to put this into occlusion layer. Okay, so just to understand like what comes first and what comes later. So when I put them into occlusion layer, now when I refresh my project, I don't see them, because occlusion layer is rendered last. First is the hand layer, and then whatever other objects if we have in the layer 0, and then the last occlusion layer. So this is why now I can't see them. Now this is like a little good texture going away when it's happening. So all I did is just rearrange the layer, like maybe so right now my layer 0, which is my portal, no sorry, my which is my everything else. um, Sorry, layer 0 is nothing, like hand layer, so maybe we can delete it. We're not using it anyway. So so I have a hand layer, I have an occlusion layer. Hand layer the the portal, and also the hand. Okay, they're the same layer. And the door in the left and right door, they're the occluders. Okay. Now what should happen is when okay, thanks Shaker. Now then, when this comes up, there should be an audio which plays at the end of the like when it's revealing. So I need to play this audio hand reveal. We can play it how it's gonna play. It's like a 1 second to play. So maybe when my hand is like about to come up, I need to play this. So to play an audio, we go this playback controller, create an audio playback controller. We're gonna call it reveal. Um, I usually do this like audio playback controller, so APC underscore like whatever it is doing. So what it is doing is reveal sound. So we can do that reveal sound. I know you wouldn't be able to see this, so I'm just gonna drag it. I'm just gonna like you can see it here. It's called APC. That's what I do like for audio playback controller, but it is also same for animation playback controller. So you gotta like do something else there. So I put that NMPC so that like to just to differentiate if you're working on the larger projects. So the audio is the hand reveal. It should play when it should play when this is completed. If that's what I do, then probably it might be late, but let's try this out. And that's what we're gonna play. And it's also should reset it when, so that next time it should be reset to play. So when I, oh, we need a speaker. Um, if we have everything, if we don't have speaker, we can't listen anything. So we need a speaker as well. This speaker is, it can be in any layer, but anyways, now you can put APC the sound to it, that audio playback controller, and you're good to go. Pretty late. So because we're making this happen when everything is completed. So even like when I tapped after that, it's gonna wait for 3 seconds before playing. So maybe we wanna do this earlier. So let's do this here when you start it. So when you do that, I'm gonna play now. I need a little bit of delay because it's just happening so fast. So I'm gonna do the delay for maybe when I screen tap, wait for 1 second, and then give this to the just pass that pulse. So for the 1 second, it's gonna hold that pulse after we press screen tap, and then it's gonna throw it away ahead. Seems pretty nice. Maybe I'll just do zero point 0.6 just to match the visuals. Yeah, seems about right. Maybe 0.65. All right, so this is how the audio is gonna play for me. So maybe this is just the audio thing. So it's just gonna like we're not gonna disturb this again. So this is super okay for us. Maybe it was okay down here as well. Okay. Next thing we want is to to add some particle emitters so that when this reveal happened, like there should be like some a lot of liveliness to the art, and also it's looking like super black right now. I want to change that also because it's hurting my eyes. So I'm gonna go to the hand and the hand mash first. The hand is like a single mash, and it has a material called Lambert 16, which is with the model only. This is Lambert 16. So I'm gonna just go and make it physically based because we want it to be reactive to our environment. So what angle I'm looking at should be considered like some light change into the scene. So I'm going to use a physically based material for this. And when I do, right now I want my this to be up. I do it looks like this. Make it super wide. For now, actually you can choose anything. Maybe choose a different color. Um, I don't know. What is your favorite color? What color do you want me to make it? Any suggestions for the color? Yeah, when it comes to deciding something, I get confused. So I'm going to put it to this color unless I get a suggestion. So this color, and then we can, first thing you should do when you use a PBR material, add an environment light. Okay, because then we have the actual light informations. Peach color, all right. Now we'll just go and add peach color. So peach color hex codes. So I found the peach color hex code. So I'm going to copy this and go here and change this to this hex code. And we have a peach color. Oh, such a beautiful color. All right, now we added the environment, and this environment is now reflecting the lights onto our model. We can see it quite clearly, like it's shiny from somewhere, like it's more light at some points and less light at some points. So we're gonna make it a little reflective. So we make it like a little metallic, and I don't know why emission is on. We're turn it off for now, and we can still keep rotating and find a balance where the front of the hand has like proper light, and we can play with this roughness a little, and also this maybe not super metallic but little more like this. uh, Now we can give it texture, like this is some texture that we imported, this origami hand base color, and this base colors already has some sort of colors with it, but it matches with the peach color that we gave it to, so that's okay. I think it's gonna be nicer. Then we have an ORM texture with it, like occlusion, roughness, and metallic. So ORM represents this metallic, roughness, and occlusion. This is ORM. So M is the percentage of reflectiveness that you want on your surface. So if you put metallic to 100%, that means you are reflecting all the light that you're receiving. So it's super shiny. It's like if you walk on it, you probably slip. It's super shiny and reflective. So, but when you increase the roughness, that means you're decreasing the smoothness. All right. When you're increasing the roughness, then you're decreasing the smoothness. All right. So you have to put it less on the lesser side when you want your uh, surface to be metallic or shiny. So that is why we are going up to like 100%, and this is keeping it low. If you put it 100, the environment light won't affect the surface because it's super rough already. Then we're going to put this occlusion ORM to this. This adds like a lot of details to the texture, and then we increase this to 100%. And then now you see that even if I go rough, there is some sort of ORM that I'm getting from this texture. So maybe put it like a little like I have like additional details now, you know, like but it's still like a plain surface. But on an additional texture that we have is this normal, and I forgot to put them on none. So this is a good practice to put all the texture to none, compression to none, and we're gonna go back to occlusion. Sorry, the what was this material? Lambert. So first we name it to mat underscore hand. Okay, so we were at the ORM. Now we add the normal texture, which is mat normal. Now you see that as soon as I add the normal, I can see some sort of bumps and like details on the surface now. This is the strength of the normal that you can control. Like we just put 0.1, so it's going to apply that strength a little in that percentage. So if you put it 0.5, it affects the texture but not too much. So you can see that those details are like how much you want those details. It depends on this number. If you put it on 1, this is like full in action. So this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna probably play with this normal a little to when we try to create some sort of animation around it. But let's just complete the basic tutorial first, and then we'll try to work with it. Okay. Now animation alpha. We don't need to change anything else. Maybe try to adjust this a little. It depends on like what kind of light you want when you want to load the filter. So this looks okay to me right now, and you can try to We have a problem in our project is that every time we screen tap, it's gonna play this. So we have to change this now. That means every time a screen tap, that shouldn't happen. That should only happen once. That means everything that every pulse there going from here, I need to block those pulse after one screen tap. I don't want any more screen taps. So I'm gonna use a switch, and I'm gonna turn on this switch. If I'm screen tapped, so this switch is turned on, so it's gonna tell all the other taps that now I don't need any more taps because I've been already tapped. So if you're tapped once, then give me a pulse from that tap and discard the other taps, because we if it is turned on, then if it is not changing, then it's not gonna give any pulses. So this is my new setup now. So all I did is edit this guy in the middle, and this creates like a just one time tapper, like you just tap one time. So if I tap, it's not gonna give any pulses. It's not gonna play that. It's a nice little hand coming out, and then you see that the lights are reflective, so it's also reflective. It looks so nice. So this is okay. The next thing we want to do, we wanted to add some particles to it. So now the hand is looking a little better. Uh, this is okay. We could adjust this color so that it's a little brighter also. So I'm gonna just use this. Go ahead. No, we were good with the peachy color. Yeah, looks all right. So this particle system has to be part of the obviously plane tracker, and it should be placed wherever we place the object. So I'm going to use a particle system. Where's the particle system? Here's the particle system. The particle system arrived. Particle system does not know that there's an animation and we have to only appear when the screen is tapped. So we need to take care of that. But first, adjust the particle system. Um, adjust the particle system to make it a little like a, well, first give it to like a material sort of material. Okay, tell me the color of what color do you want for the particle system. So I'm gonna put it to flat, and also can be physically based because those particles can be reflective as well. So I'm gonna assign the environment texture to it, and then we'll keep it metallic. And, okay, think that's pretty much it. Any color that we want is no suggestions, but I'm gonna take the new suggestion that was golden. So maybe is this golden enough? So also I'm gonna make it a little smaller. I'm gonna call it matte particle. Okay, this is a new thing that we're gonna learn today with respect to particles. Is that I mentioned about it yesterday that how to um, I mentioned it about yesterday that how to make a script take care of your particles when they're fading away, like when they're about to end their lifespan. So we're gonna use a script today and then use it to make those changes. Now I get a new suggestion to the color of these particles, and that was this color. Seems like a red particles. Doesn't match with the vibe, but let's try to play with it and see how that can look like. Maybe make them a little brighter. Okay, let's go with this for now. And this emitter is has to be a little smaller than this, and like we want it to spin a little. Can't really see them, so I need to go to them first. So this is how it's going. We can use a shape in particle system to be sphere, and then I can have like a, instead of a point, This could be like a ring, and its lifespan could be about 2 seconds from where it starts. The emitter is not being hidden by the occluder because the emitter is above it, right? The emitter, if you see, is above the occluder. Occluder is here, right here. Below this we can't see. So the emitter is actually above that. So if you put it down, you won't be able to see the particles which are below, right? The particles which are coming from below, you are not able to see them. So if anything goes below the occluder, they won't be visible from the top. All right. And I see that these particles are looking nicer. They have like a little, maybe too big for this. So I'm gonna make it like a little small, 0.2 maybe. Oh, yeah, it's gonna come like this. And the scale, I'm gonna keep it like 10% of like here and there, some bigger, some smaller, and so that's how it should work. If I screen tap, I can see that these particles also like right there. So we'll add some details to this project. Like this simple project, we'll try to make it like super nice, like maybe an award winning sort of. It looks like an award as well. So um, next thing I want to do is I want to control this. I don't want this to happen when I only want these particle emitters when the hand is revealed, not before that. So when the portal is not opened yet, then this should not come out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it happen when the screen is tapped and the object has been up a little. That means when I'm revealing my sound, maybe around that time. So this pulse could be useful to create some sort of changes into the particle system. So what kind of changes I can do for the particle system is that I have initially the birth rate is 20. So if I have birth rate is 20, then there's no particle, right? If I have birth rate 1, then there is like a 1 or 2 particle. So this birth rate can control our particle system. So I'm gonna bring it here, and I'm gonna say that if this happens, then maybe I'll use an animation, and then I use a transition. So I'm going to use an animation, and then I'm going to use a transition, and then make it from vector from vector 1 or number from 0 to the maximum 20. This is what I want to do. And again, so I needed 2 extra patches, but now I'm also learning with you guys, and you're also learning. So you guys have also become now an expert creator. So every time something you do, you try to think of like, is there a way I can optimize this? Like now you know the approach that this can be done, but is there a way I don't have to use this because I can use an information which is already there? So this progress patch goes from 0 to 1. So what if I just multiply this by 20, and then that can give me a birth rate. So I don't need these 2 patches anymore. But I forgot the delay. So this is what I wanted to do with this delay. That's where I wanted to start my animation. So maybe if that's the delay, then I have to match this delay to this multiply. So just before this, I'm gonna copy this delay, delete these two, and just give this in here and multiply it in here. Just trying to set up a new way to do things. There's nothing that we have changed. All we have done is that put that delay where we wanted our pulse to be, and then multiplying that number by 0 to 20 so that this birth rate varies from 0 to 20. So now if I do this refresh and I put it, I can see that those items are actually appearing coming from inside, because what we did was we shifted it a bit down, right? So that's so nice that it is like appearing from almost like coming from inside. But it takes a while to start. So maybe I don't need this delay, because It takes a while to travel from where it's starting. So if I remove this delay and use this pulse directly, sorry, use this progress directly, then it should be okay for me. Yeah, it's fine. Also, I want to change this materials alpha test. I want to check it so that it doesn't bother with the elements, other elements. So check the alpha test, and now it's working. This okay. Um, what else? What else we could do with this? Also that when this animation ends, we want it to keep rotating now. Like, okay, animation was fine, but I also want this to be rotating again. So I need to rotate the portal, but not the, sorry, I need to rotate the hand, but not the portal. So what I want is another object into the null object, because that's I'm going to use to rotate. So I'm going to just name it to rotate null. And I'm not going to change any layering order, and just put this hand inside. And particles I don't want to rotate. So to rotate this null, all I need to do is use a loop animation, and that should be a transition with it that rotates my hand in this type. So that is probably the around the y-axis. So I'm gonna give it to 0, 360, and 0, and that should be the rotation of my this null object. So now you can see that it is down there, it's rotating. And if I click on it, that animation actually adds to it. You see that? So it looks like, yeah, it looks perfect. Even if I don't, if I keep this always enabled, that also makes sense. It's perfect. Otherwise, what we could do is we could use this pulse to rotate it with a delay, of course. But it seems fine to me. But just to tell you this way to maybe wait for 2 seconds and then start. So that's going to enable it. So initially disable. Nah, that doesn't look nice. So we are okay with rotating it already, because that actually makes it faster. So like a better reveal. But feel free to change that condition, like when you want to rotate, because that's like a animation over the top of other animations. Now that animation only happened once, and after that those are done. Now we can keep rotating it using our animation patches. um okay, makes sense. It looks nice. Everything looks nice. Now I want to have a little maybe glow around these particles, or maybe something on this hand. So we have enough time to play. Like your session is about like object reveal and occlusion. That's over. Now we're just trying to find some additional hacks and techniques that we could do. The first thing that we tried was the fade away of particles. So I'm going to import this script that I created, and I'll share you with this with you guys. So this particle fade JS. So we have this script, and what I'm going to do is, so right now it's going to probably give you an error, because of, let's see what is inside. All right, so the just I'm going to give you an overview of the script. So if you have to make some changes, you can make those changes. So we have a scene module. So this is similar to just finding out all the scene objects. So when we do this, the constant scene, we can use this object to access elements of our scene. So our scene is this. This is our scene, okay? So when we are calling the scene module, that means we are calling that to access everything which is in this box. All right. So we call this module, and we also call an animation module. So that means that we are going to create some sort of animation. So it's just basically an animation module which can have all kind of animation, this animation, other animations. It can have like others, all kind of animations. So and then we use that now there are promises and async functions. So async function, they wait for um, so we use them with await async functions. So await waits for a promise to be solved first. That means if this is promising the scene dot root to find dot first dot emitter 0, that means this is going to find the scene object is going to find the root. The root is this is the root, and then it's going to find for an object called find first emitter 0. So it's going to go look for emitter 0 and found it. So if you found it, then this is successful. Okay, it's going to return a promise to this guy and say that okay, emitter is found, and assign that to emitter. If it does not, if I put it emitter 1, then it is a failed promise. Okay, so this is the rest of the things won't be executed. It's going to be failed right here, because this is emitter 0, emitter 1 is not there. So you can see now there is an error now, that what you're trying to find something and then that's not there. So I'm going to put it to again emitter 0. And we created a sampler where everything is constant, like everything else is constant, but we're modifying like RGB. This is HSVA modulation. This is hue, saturation, and um, what's for V? Okay, so it's yeah. So we have to change the alpha because we want to fade it away. So if you put the alpha to, let's say, initially you're visible, so initially at 1, and then we put that to 0, and this is going to run in some sort of like a maybe point 0.1 of the time. So let's try it then. This emitter is holding that, so we did that emitter dot ssva modifier, and then alpha sampler was just to create that animation from which is changing the alpha only. You don't have to understand this. Maybe like to make you understand the scripts, maybe I'll have to come up with other things first to make you understand how scripts work here. But this is, if you want to change something to it, just find that name of that scene object that you want to fade away at the end of the lifespan. So I'm just going to save it now, and you'll see that these particles now are fading away. These particles now are fading away with the time. You can see that they are fading away, right? This is a nice little detail. Looks nice, looks better. So all you have to do is import this script and change the name of the variable of the emitter that you want to do this. Any questions in this? Any questions in this? I'm going to move ahead and teach you something else now. So if any question, did I miss anything? No questions. Okay, cool. Let me know even if you find some questions meanwhile. Um, Now let's try to create a little glow that we did yesterday. But we did that yesterday. Let's do something else. But let me teach you for the particles. Maybe we'll try to do that here as well. Okay. So everything that comes inside this placer is my plane tracking object. So all I want to do is add a glow to this emitter. Yeah, we can add Kira Kira, sure. So this emitter, first I'm going to just use a scene object, and to see that what is hold. It holds the entire emitters, so I can see those emitters after tapping and making it transparent. I can see those emitters here. It's a nice little detail would be to add a glow to this guy. So now what I'm going to do is Yeah, add a blur patch. I think we've done this, so I'm not gonna waste time on this actually. So if you add a blur patch from the library, so you can just do blur here and search the library. So it will search the blur, and you can add the blur, and you can do some operations and then blend them together to add that glow, and it will just follow those tutorials. All right. So next what I want to do is Kira to add a Kira to this. So what we have to do is just go to the library and search for Kira patch. I think there are some Kira patches already there. It's simple Kira patch asset here, and I'm going to import this and read the description. It says that it's a simple Kira effect. I know that you can't see it, so okay. And it has a texture of sparkle that we have to give. It shifts if you do more than one layer. You can shift effect, pixel count 2 to 23, camera texture, device resolution as inputs, and output is the texture result. So yeah, we've already imported this Kira patch. Have we? Yeah. And import this out. We need a sparkle texture, and then what sort of kind we are shifting it to. And we need a pixel count, then a camera texture, and then it just out. So I've never tried a Kira effect on a plane tracking, but let's find out how this looks. Where's my texture? So I what kind of texture do I want for my sparkle? The sparkle texture should be can be like an SDF, SDF star. And this SDF star, I'm going to take an SDF complement to just invert the shape so that we can do that. And then I'm going to use a smooth step to just to cut out the alphas. And that should give me a star. So something sort of shaded in the past gives me a star. I need to make it like a little sharper. So make it smaller first of all. How do I make it smaller? All I have to do is decrease this 0.1 and 0.2. Yeah, looks like a good Kira to me. Even better. Looks like a better Kira to me now. So I'm going to use that as a single texture because it's transparent otherwise. And that is going to be the sparkle for me. And I'm also going to use a shader and the pass to see what is the output. Right now, it's nothing because we don't have a camera texture to this. But if we give the camera texture to this, then this will be applied on the camera texture. And do we want to apply Kira to entire camera texture? Well, let's just find out and try to do this for entire camera texture for now, and then we'll see if we can just do this onto our model, not everywhere else. So if I do this camera texture in here, and so shift by 12 and 32, my pixel count is, you can see that the whatever the shape I gave it to you, it is like kind of multiplying it here and there. So just like do things step by step. We need a resolution of the screen, so that is the resolution of the screen. And then we need a shift. So maybe we can animate the shift later on. And this is the maximum pixel count that you can go to. How much bigger, how much smaller you want it. And we need something to hold it. So I'm just going to show how does this look for, let's try on this girl. So just going to hold to a camera texture rectangle. And this texture is actually this texture now. So this should be visible to, actually this camera texture, I'm not sure why we can't see them. Can we see them, or is it too small? It's probably the sparkle texture, I guess. Is that why we can't see them? Uh, Gonna make it a little bigger. So maybe if that's the problem, we're gonna do STF scale a little, and STF scale would make it like a 3 times and 3 times, maybe 5 or 5. If that's the case, then how are we dealing with this now? I'm not sure why this doesn't work. Hmm. I think we need to change. We need to change a render order first. So I'm gonna fix the render pipeline. Um, my placer should be the, no, in the front cam. That should be. Oh, are we on the front cam? No, we're not on the front cam. Now we're on the front cam. I think it could be the patch. Um, why it's not working? Let's try to find out why it's not working. It's a texture, it gives us a texture, and the texture should be multiplied with the camera texture. But I don't see that. I don't see that. I'm applying the camera texture to this guy, and this camera texture is not being multiplied. Is it too big of texture? It's also just divided by the screen size. Should have been working. I'm not sure why is this not working. Let's try to find a texture called like sparkle. Right, cool. So I'm gonna just use a Crushy to compress this. Actually, I think that Kira might be buggy. I'm not sure that's should be just working. It takes up the texture and this adds the star texture to it. So it doesn't need compression. Only 39 kb. So I'm good with that. I'm going to import this to a project and let's see the final test if it's not working with the texture. SDFs might, like SDF also should be working, but I'm just probably missing out on something. So mark it as none, bring it out, use this texture and see if this is working. I don't think so it's working like that. Um, I have no clue this Kira Kira is not working. Maybe try some other patch if you have for Kira Kira. Oh, this is not the result that we're getting exactly. So, I mean, if I have to fix this, I will try to, like multiply this with this color, and maybe that could help. But it's not gonna look that nice. So, if I multiply this with this color, yeah, I think it's a little buggy. So just last try, I'm just gonna save it and open it again, just in case if this version is buggy like that, because this is also version 139, and I hear there are some problems with it, but I'm not sure. Like we should be able to know if there's a problem. I'm sorry. So just trying to check if. All right, we come back to this. Maybe this project a little buggy. We'll come back to it. I'm not sure why there's no sense of this camera texture here, and also I'm not sure why these things are not working. There's no changes. I'm making some changes here. So we'll start with a blank project to use the Kira Kira. But let's do the other thing for now. Okay, so can you show how to make the animated light rays on a 3D object? I can show you, but I think I will suggest you to find a YouTube tutorial. It's called volumetric lights. So volumetric lights, it's something that you're looking for. So just search for it because it's going to take a lot time for the setup. But this is what you're looking for, volumetric lights, and try to learn that. If you have any issues, any problems following that, just let me know. No, we didn't change the render pipeline checker. We're working with the default render pipeline, so we're not changing anything for that matter. This is 100%, also 100%, and this is also on the top layer, hand layer. So the Kira Kira will do in the fresh project. For now, we'll just try to work with our reveal one. Okay. Okay. So today I wanted to play with the normal properties of this guy. So how do I modify the normal properties and try to try to make it like maybe a water effect or something like that. So what I'm gonna do for that, let me go to the material of this hand, and this is the hand, and we have the material here, matte hand, and we want to change the normal, so we're gonna bring back this texture in here. Although we already have a normal texture to this that's working with it, but we want to change this texture. So apply a noise to it so that it kind of changes shapes with. So this texture I'm going to go with and find a Perlin noise. Let's go with this Perlin noise. Obviously the size of this is very high, like 1.454 MB. What we have to do is compress it, just take it out from Spark and compress it and bring it back, so that way you can save up the size. um, Now I'm gonna bring this kernel noise inside, and I'm trying to I'm trying to make this run in some direction. So right now what I have is shader enterprise, and this is actually moving. It's not moving; it's static. So I need a vertex attribute patch. And to get familiar with this is going to give me two coordinates, x and y. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a runtime patch, and I'm going to multiply this. Actually, I'm going to just add multiply this runtime to the number so that we can control the speed of movement. All right. So this number is going to control the speed of movement, and I'm going to add this to these two coordinates, and this is also a two coordinate system. And then I just move the y scroll, and so I'm going to multiply -1 so that it's like from top to the bottom. And so this is the multiplication. That means this is the UV that I'm going to get. So I need to use a texture sampler now. Texture sampler, and the sampler is going to take the UV, and the texture is this one. So we can keep it there. Now my updated texture is going to be like this, and we, as always, forgot to put it on repeat. All right. So now we have like little nice animation. This is going on to the bottom, and also I want to change the tiling of it, like the number of the zoom. I want to make it like a little zoomer than this. So to do that, I could modify this like using texture transform, and that 2D transform pack where we did that yesterday. So today we're going to use something different. So let's multiply this in here. If you multiply this with a number, then you kind of doing a frag. So before multiplying, we also have to do a fragment stage. If you do a fragment stage, then you can actually fragment this texture into like multiple columns. And if I go more, if I multiply it, then it's gonna be like more columns. That means it's gonna be smaller. This texture is gonna be smaller. So if I put it to 5, it's even smaller now. If I put it to 10, it's going to be even like very very small. So I need value which is less than 1 but greater than 0. So maybe 0.1, it's going to make it bigger. If I 0.2, it's going to make it bigger as well. 0.3, 0.4. So this seems like a nice noise to me now. So what I did is I just multiplied it with a. So this is an alternate approach to achieve what we were doing with texture transform and 2D transform pack. So we can control this way as well. And also I'm going to use a power node here, power. So this power is going to make it a little darker and not so bright. All right. So this is good that we have the texture now. And I need to create this to normal. So I'm gonna use normal. use the texture to normal and see if this can help us to create this normals, and apply it here, and see that how do I look, how our normals are looking. The normals are looking like our details is moving now. So let's try to use that now instead of our original normal that we got for the project. Let's try to use this normal now and see that how is this working out. It's working out that it looks like a little detailed, but it's super big. So those details are so big, and also this revolve is also very high. So what I'm gonna do is make it a little slower so that we can look at the details better. And since I had sorry, like I will arrange the project for you just now. So I had a multiplier here. So -1 was like everything is super, just the runtime, how every second. So I'm gonna make it minus point 0.1. Now it's like a slower. The details are glowing slower now. I'm gonna make it more slower, minus 0.01, and then there's a little. You can see those details are moving now on the hand, and also can make it to minus 0.03 maybe, so like not too slow. And now this is the texture that is moving there. This is the normal detail, and we can control its width and height, and like make it more like a oil texture, if you like. This is a, and this, you can also apply this to your body, to your skin, and then your skin becomes like a oily skin, like those kind of filters you've seen on Instagram. So that's how they are created. And then you can have some sort of level. This level is also created by emitters. So like the more it is, the higher it is, the level, the higher it becomes, like this. Like, and yeah, looks like a melting, something is melting right now, it looks like that. And also try to, what else can we do? We can increase this to make it more black, so there are like spots, there are some on spots inside on it. uh, are we getting this technique that we are, like the look at the texture right now? And if you increase the speed is like this. If you increase the speed to even higher, yeah, it looks nice now. If you want to control the emission as well, we can also control the emission. So let's say we go back to the hand portal. No, no, yep, no, no, no. Hand, where is this? And go to the emission and bring this back in here and try to work with this emission with this. Also make it super white. You can see that wherever this normal is, we also have a little like light as well because of this emission. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can control, you can have different noises, and you can have different shapes. um, Maybe control it to like 6, and or maybe 12, just to look at the dots. And I can also this multiply, this is zero point 0.5 multiplier. I can also make it like a 2 vector, and then one I can multiply by 1, and other one I can just control the shape of that thing. So look at the shape of this noise here, and how it changes when I try to modify these. So if I increase this, I can see that they become closer now, and because I'm kind of increasing the fraction into y, so I'm decreasing the size of those tiles. This is tiling. Okay, so this is, I can just call it a tile. Like in, maybe make it like 100, they will be like super close in y, but in x they're at the same distance. So if I put 200, then you can see that our hand has become like a super lining. And some of you were asking about a water shader, like a wavy water shader. So this is how you create a water shader. because all you need is normal details. All you need to change the normal with the help of noise, and that's it. Then you get your desired texture like that. And I can see that this hand is quite detailed. It looks so frisky and very nice. Like, maybe I'll just put it to 20, and then um, point 0.1 to keep the lines, and point 0.1 to keep this reflectiveness. Keep it 100 and put it to 1.1. Then I also get the lines, and this is the like a rough surface like this. So is this clear? Are we this is making sense to us? Like, how are we changing those using the normal, and also the emission as well? We could have a different sort of noise for emission. Like, this is, I understand, this is for um, this is for the noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into a patch. Okay, so I can utilize this later. So this is something that goes inside. This is something that changes my tile. So I'm going to create a value here. So of course this value is something that I'm changing a lot. So this is vector2 value. I'm going to keep it out, and I'm adding these two. And the another thing is I'm controlling the speed of this. So that is a number. It can be a number. It can be a value, which is vector2, vector2, vector2. And actually, all we have to do is pack a number, which is vector2. And this is the value that we're changing. So we can now give it a single number because this is now vector2. So by default, we want it to minus 0.03. And by default, we want it to 1, comma 1, or maybe 0.1, comma 1. Okay, so this is it. And this power controls the darkness, like the light. So we can also have a variable for this. So this is a value intent for now, and so we'll call them different things now. This is the texture of noise, so this also keep it out. This thing, this thing, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. These are giving us that texture that we want. So I'm gonna keep it into a group so I can utilize this again and again. So I'm making a patch for myself so that I can utilize it again and again. So I see that the first input is a texture, the second input, the last input is the power of the texture. So I'll just put it up, and I'll arrange these now. So this is, right click on this group and go to the group properties and try to change these names so that they make sense to you. So this is my noise texture, and it is type of a texture. And number two is actually the scale of the tile. So you can call it tiling. With tiling, you can kind of control the size of your dots. Like, you want them stretched, you want them round, or you want them like stretch in Y, and any other kind of shapes that you can derive with maths. So right now we're using maths to kind of derive those shapes. This is a vector2 by default. Since we are using the tiling for kind of control the size of the texture, and with this method, lower values are nice, and the other method, the higher values were nice, because the other method was like texture transform. So we were scaling up. Right now we're fragmenting it, so we're scaling it. Like, we want less fragments to work with. So point 0.1 and point 0.1. And the input number 3 is the speed of that normal moving. So this is like a speed. By default, we can put it like a number, which is minus 0.03. And what is this value? This value is, I think, the, 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 the strength. You can call it a strength of a noise. So we can call it the strength of the noise. And this is number. By default, we can put it to 2 because that's what we do with most of the noises, but and then put it to 2. So my patch is ready. I'm going to call this patch as a noise generator. Okay, and this patch noise generator takes few outputs. And I'm going to delete these because by default we have put them like this. So this noise generator, I can create this to a patch asset, and I can save it later and then like those things. For now, I'm just going to keep it because there are some bugs I heard to when you convert things to patch asset. So I'm not going to go there. We are already getting some color. Oh, this is the normal, right? Why is like that? Did we change something? Point one noise is because of 10. Oh yeah. So this is 12 as well, and this is yeah. So now we can just change these numbers and get whatever we want. We can have animations controlling these numbers. We could do many things. Yeah, like we can make this make this work like make this flow like this, and then also have it 20th of 25, 25. Yeah, now we know how to work with that. So this is it. This is the one for the. Now we want to change something like a different noise for emission. This noise was working out well for normal, so we're gonna keep it there. This is the normal working, very small and precise now to see like what was happening. Okay, we're generating some noise, and then that noise is converting to normal map, and that normal map is making the changes. So yeah, pretty much it. I'm gonna make it less. No. Okay. Uh, Next thing I want to do is to do that for the emission. So I'm going to copy and paste it. I copied and pasted it. I need a different texture for my emission. So I'm going to go to the texture. You can just find more noise online, but there are a couple of they have covered all kind of categories to create fluid, to create like a surface, like a water. So those can work very easily for you. I think I'm gonna go with this fibers now, maybe microscopes. Microscope. I'm not sure what it's gonna give me, but I've never used this texture, so I'm just excited like what it has for me. And if this round shapes I can utilize into my emission, maybe it can just give me an additional detail. So I think this microscopic view is ready. I'm gonna go with it. This texture and use this directly onto my emission. And where's that emission? This is the emission. So I'm going to go with the power of 2. I see that there are some lines which are getting there. And I'm also going to have a shader ender pulse so I can see what's going inside, what actually coming out. And I see that what is coming out is not really nice. Okay, so we just get we're just getting the lines, nothing else. So what can change things for us is this styling. Maybe go lower if you want things bigger. uh, go 5, so even smaller. Okay, maybe this noise is like super black already, so we don't really need to strengthen it. If we do, then if we make it power 2, it becomes so dark that see that this is like very less white details. So even if we make it a power of 2, this becomes like super dark. So I'm just gonna keep it to 1, and then try to change this to point 1 and point 1 and 1 and 1. And also we have to put it on repeat. We every time forget this. Now we can see it. Now we can see it nice. Even if I do power number two, you can see that there's little white details there. And if you see here, if you see here, we can see some white dots traveling, but they are like super big right now. So we need to make them smaller. So maybe go 5 and go 5. And then I see that another detail as an emission there. I can see another detail like that. And also go like 100 by 5. This is another layer of detail that I can see as an emission. And the good part is that now you can multiply it a little, maybe make it 1. Yeah, and this is how we get things in here. So let's try to do, if you want to keep working on it, you can now use a delay frame on this. So let's try to use a delay frame on this. So delay frame needs a shader and a pass. So we use a delay frame here. And whenever delay frame comes, things just go crazy and crazy, right? So they just become super nice. This is a very wonderful patch because it just gives you a lot of details about frames, and then you can use them like again and again. First and second normal detail is going to be the same, and I can actually normal texture. I can actually convert them before passing it to this height map. But let's try to create one engine, and we'll just shift it later. So this gives a receiver. I bring that receiver and I mix it to my initial texture. So I mix it to my this texture. My alpha can be something that I want, and this is my new pipeline. So now I see that there's some changes because I'm just using the delay frame. So I'm gonna make it to 0.5, and I still can't see many changes. 0.1. I see that now that everything that is traveling kind of leaving a trail, everything that is traveling. So now the melting is even nicer, it looks even better. Make it to 0.01, and then I see that the same point has like a some sort of dissolving of a texture. um, if I give it this one, then it's probably going to create its uh, self texture again and again. So you'll see that as well. If And so you can play with it. I think the two things I try always, like what happens when you pass the delay frame as alpha, like only the show the delay, where is the delay, and also that wherever my original texture is, just take a copy of it with the movement, and then you'll see that okay, there's something happening right now. um, yeah, I think 0.1 is also was like a nice number to work with. So all I did was created a pipeline, and then so if this is my setup, can I utilize again and again? So what is the setup? What is the output? That this is the input, and output is this. So this can be my render pass setup. So I'm going to group it again, and I'm going to call it like a delayed frame. Everything is capital. That was unintended. I don't do that usually. Okay, so this is it's pretty much coming out good. So now I can do is I can also apply this just before. Uh, I can also apply this just before this. So without passing the normals like that, I can have it and then have it here. So that will give me a different sort of because now the normals are generated after they're being delayed with the frame. So the normal value is now different, and last time what we did was the generated normals and we worked with them. So we can control actually this number and put it out so that we can, we can control it from outside. So let's say point 2, and that a good number for this, point 5, if that a good number for this, and then put it to 5 and 5. Okay, so let's also do this for the delay frame. Copy and paste. And I'm going to do this for the delay frame, my input, and this is going to be my output. And also put it to 0.01. When you do this with the emission, that's going to give you like great amount of lights. Um, yeah. Also going to multiply it inside with a little less number than this. So that also changes a lot of things for me. So I'm going to put it to 0.96 maybe. So not passing the 100% of the frame, but I'm keeping like just the 90% of it. These are just good techniques to work with. Okay, this was it. I'm gonna come back to, yeah, we learned how to do the normal thing, and what else we can do with this? Look for suggestions. Is there any cheat sheet? Sorry for a thing for Spark here. Cheat sheet, cheat sheet of thing for Spark here. No cheat sheet. What do you mean by cheat sheet? Like, I think there are a lot of resources that you can find on GitHub, on the community. I think the community is the best place to hang out if you want to know more things about Spark here. Um, try to get inspirations, and I'm also going to tell you my inspiration journey, like how I get inspirations and how do I approach filters. So let's gonna do that. Just checking any more questions if you have. This is like a magic. Yeah, it is like a magic, and I'm super proud of actually this technique that I don't know. I just learned it. I didn't get this from anywhere else. I was just working with it, and I discovered that changing the normals can be really helpful. And so I always try to do something with the normals because initially I didn't care about them. I get, nah, yeah, normal details, like only little bump on the surface. But now I see that you can create like oil textures, oil paints with this, and then maybe try using a particle emitter with a physical based material and give that normal to that, and just use that particle system to like create sort of rains. You can create rains, and then that's distorting your camera texture. Amazing things, like there's infinite possibilities with this method. And try using this delay frames. We haven't really used much of the delay frames, like if you want to really like make things crazy, I would definitely um, add again a texture transform, and transform this a bit to have a scale like 2D transform pack. And then I'll just increase the scale into X 0 1, and I'm just gonna change everything in a very large amount. Yeah, so most of the time you just have to now play with the values because you've already created the platform to change the normals, and then all you have to do is play with the right values which make sense to you, and that's it. That's how you're gonna achieve your best effect. Uh, yeah. always try to get some nice alphas. Right now our alpha is just a number, but you can give an alpha to like an alpha of a texture. So like if this is a texture, and if I give this alpha to this, and it's gonna do also some nice things to the texture. But for an example, if you want to show something inside it which is traveling, so what if these dots could be worms? Like this could be um, this water could be this hand could be a place where the water is held, and you can actually have some fishes inside using this alpha. So these are important things that we do. That you can see that alpha texture, right? So what if this is a fish texture? You can actually see fishes inside that texture, like moving, and then not disturbing the original texture of the object. So yeah, interesting stuff. Definitely interesting stuff. Okay, so there was something about cheat sheet. Okay, so there was something about inspiration. All right. Okay, so whenever you get a project to work with, or even if it for clients, even if it is for your competitions or any project that you're working with, what you need to do is get the inspiration from. And then I know it's not always very easy to get the inspiration. It's actually the toughest task of being a creator. What I usually do, I'll just maybe help you in that way. What I usually do is I'll go to the online. Maybe sometimes you don't get things very clearly around you, and then so I'm gonna go to the lens list here. Lens list is a platform where it is a very big platform. Right now they're running competition as well. So where you go is you go to the Instagram AR filters, or you can directly search here any filter that you're looking for. So let's say if you're looking for Instagram filters, and then you can search, you're looking for target tracking filters. Okay, so what this is going to do is this is going to filter out all the target tracking filters and at one place for you. And what you can do is you can use those filters and what people are making. So that's going to make a little sense to you, that you get to actually see people's work. So that you actually, when I see the work, I get this feeling like, okay, how is this created? And I know it just creates a map into my mind, like, okay, I see the lights. Oh, volumetric lights. So I need to know, like, if I want to implement something similar like this, then I need to know how to make the volumetric lights. So, and that's easy. Like if I see this, I see that, okay, there's a scanning filter, and I need this grid, and I need this metallic face. So it's just like, first you look at the filter, you try to see why they have done it, what kind of efforts they have put it. Let's say for this example, Hotel Transylvania, this movie, there was this movie, Hotel Transylvania. They released one of the parts this year. This filter was created for them, and you see, this is a target tracking filter. So when you go and you look at this image, this target tracking becomes live, and then the eyes start moving, the tongue start moving, and there's a lightning animation in the middle of that. So it's like such a nice immersive effect. So just try to maybe see these effects, how they are making, what they are making, and try to dissect them. Maybe what kind of capability you would use behind it. How can you do it? Can you do it? Maybe not for clients, just for yourself. Just try it out, try to look for the inspiration. There are so many, I searched target tracking, there are 228 pages like that. So there are so many filters people have created. So why not see other people's work first, and then, because every time it's not necessary that you're going to create a unique effect every time. Every client would like to have a unique effect. No, most of the clients, they just go with basic falling game effects, jumping game effect, end runner games. They just want a game to engage audience. Maybe they want a randomizer filter. So for clients, don't worry about things, but for inspiration, just keep going here. Even if you don't have a project, just keep going in this here. Keep going to the community of Spark AR. There's this very wonderful community. I learned a lot from here. And this is one community, you can post questions and you can do things here. And another thing you can do is we also have a Reskill group where you can post your questions, your queries. There are so many people here. So just try to see some work from Ishani Dash. She posted. So yeah, keep doing those things. Keep getting inspiration from other people's work, and then that's my process. So if I like something, I like to decide, okay, this is what I want in my filter, and then I go ahead from there. So that's my process of how I work to get inspiration about things. And I like to connect the idea of the brand, that why they want it. Let's say if a brand is a art specific brand, so I'll keep the theme like that. Like, okay, um, I want things artistic, and if there's a product reveal that I have to do, then I'll need those assets. I'll need some textures. I'll need some instructions to give to the user so that it's intuitive enough. So, oh yeah, it's your birthday present, Jessica. Keep it, please. If you want anything else also that I can teach you, please let me know. That can be a birthday present for sure. And so yeah, this is how I work with things. And let me know if you have any questions, inspiration wise, anything around Spark here. Just type it in. Would love to have some questions. There has been very less questions today, and yeah, this is done. And let's try to work with that Kira Kira. Meanwhile, you type your questions. I don't like it when things don't work for me, so I'm just gonna work with that Kira Kira now. So we're gonna have a rectangle and keep it 100 for now, and put it on a material. Keep it flat. Bring the texture into the patch editor. Also bring that patch that we were working with. So recent from library, it's called Simple Kira. Simple Kira is in the. Oh, did I save that? I think so. I'll share the file. No worries. I also shared the yesterday's file. Yesterday's it had the glow method and everything. I will share that file with you. I'll share the file with everyone actually. So this is we have this files in the folder that you already have the link. Okay, so this is Sparkle. I'm gonna use shader enterprise to see what it's showing to me, and it shows nothing right now. So it should be white. And we want to use this shift is actually, if you're not shifting, then that should be okay. There's a camera texture, a simple setup. Camera texture still white because of this, and this is the resolution. And what else do we want? We want this sparkle texture. So I'm going to use that one, and then we're going to try with SDF as well, because we were right. There's nothing wrong using SDF. So this is the sparkle, and this is working. So probably some issue in that project. This is Kira Kira, guys. Kira Kira is it actually depends on the lights, and it finds those points, and wherever there's a random sort of I think it depends on the colors of the camera texture, and then prints the texture where it's mostly bright. So we can increase this count for more Kira Kira, for smaller Kira Kira, and let's try to do this with the SDF as well. So SDF star. Why are you caps lock? Okay, SDF star is gonna give me SDF complement, and this is gonna give me SDF. Um, yeah, non SDF is gonna be smooth step, and this is gonna be 0.003, and yeah, that should be the sparkle. No. Hmm. So I'm gonna have to get it to a shader and a bus to convert it to a texture, and then we can use it, I think. And then now we have that. See, such a nice texture, and it was not working in that project. I don't know why. So we don't need this texture anymore. And just to see this clearly, that this star is super big right now, so we're gonna make it smaller by working with it. So it's trying to make it smaller. Cool. And now I can see that it's not working. It's actually working. It's very small. So I'm gonna make it a little bigger, and that we can also control from here how big and small it is. So it's pretty small now. I can see that I can see those stars now, but gonna make it a super little bigger as well. SDF scale. I'll make it to thrice of what we have. Yeah, let's try it on some models. Maybe they keep moving, so that we don't have to move. Now we can see that Kira Kira is working fine, and that's how you can make it too. So what if I wanted that Kira Kira to work on the just the model itself? So what I had to do is that this texture where we are applying it, it doesn't have to be camera texture. Then it will be the texture that we want to apply it where. Okay. So yep. Anything else that we want to do? Tomorrow we have our final session. We'll work with the body tracking, and body tracking is I think it's simple. Just there's not many things that are on the body tracking, but we'll cover those concepts and everything in the tutorial simply because we are now experts already. We understand Spark AI so much better. This body tracking is just one capability that we want to use now, so we'll make some sense out of it, and then also try to change the coordinate system, and it's going to be very much relevant when we're working with the body tracking, because that is also a completely transformed coordinates that we use in body tracking from the focal coordinate system. So that we're gonna do tomorrow. Uh, oh, we have some questions. Here we're gonna share the file. How can college students earn pocket money using Spark AI skills? Interesting. Pocket money. Okay, that's a good question. Well, if you work in Spark AI right now, I mean, I tell this to everyone, like, first learn and then remove the L from it. If you have learned it enough that you are confident enough to make money, then just go out there. There's a lot of money in AR right now because we are less, and this time is changing. That we as in creators are less, and the time is changing now. Everybody needs AR. So if you have started learning already, that means you want to be in this field. So that's good. I didn't realize it's already 8. So keep learning and try to find projects online, try to do these competitions, attend these hackathons, um, complete your assignment on time. These are some things that you can do to earn pocket money. My goal is to make things glow with render pass, just like you taught in the last class. To make glow with the render pass. Oh yeah, so if you do this Kira Kira with the render pass, I mean with the delay frame to create the glow, then you will have a little glow with the Kira Kira as well, and that's an interesting idea. I mean, yeah, you could do that if you use the delay frame, and then you could have some randomness into the scene. So yeah, good luck with that. All right, Askar, over to you. We're done with the session today.
Thank you, Naveen, and thank you everyone for joining today. So I just wanted to request, some of you have not submitted your assignments yet. So I've extended the deadline for another day. You can submit your assignments by tomorrow midnight. Please do so because we are soon coming up with the third assignment. That's a hackathon. So please do submit your assignments by tomorrow midnight for sure. and tomorrow we have the last session. So see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, please come join tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna learn a lot of things, and feel free to ask anything. There's nothing that I don't want to tell you. So if anything that I know, I'm happy to share. I'm happy to give you guidance on that. So yeah, I'll be happy if it is more interactive. So come and talk and get what you want. Yeah. Hi, Jessica. I hope best birthday ever. Okay, this is nice. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. I hope it's a good day for you in Brazil. All right, that's
Sure.
good. All right.
Thank you, Naveen. Bye.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye, Askur. Bye bye.